All right, so now I am so honored to have three individuals in front of me who I've learned so much about them. I love and adore them, and really we've become family, and we've only known each other since December of last year. These three amazing people are here tonight to talk to you, my listening audience, about what would you like to leave as your leadership legacy. As you guys all know, I've been in the media business for about 25 years now, 26, and I can't do this forever. And so what would I want to do next in order to move to my next phase in my life? And so tonight I'll share that, and my fellow, I'm making these women co-hosts with me tonight. That's what you do. When you have power like that, you make them co-hosts. I'd like to introduce you guys to my 2019 Fellows of the ADA 25 Advancing Leadership. Advancing Leadership envisions a world where people with disabilities lead with power and influence for full participation and equal opportunity. And I must say, this program has taught me so much, and I'm honored because I didn't know why I was there. I wasn't trying to be cute, any of that. I needed to figure out where was my place in this world, and I figured it out. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome to the show my three sisters, I should say. Yay! My fellow 2019 Fellows. Yay! And ladies, I'm actually going to let you introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll save your backstories for later. But go right ahead.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Becky Staley. I work at Healthcare Services Corporation here in Chicago. Been there for about 20 years, so that's really great. Speaking of family. And I joined the ADA 25 Advancing Leadership Program when I decided to claim my disability. I suffer from mental health disability, anxiety and depression, and I decided to join to be sure I could tell my story and become more comfortable with that.
Very good. I love you. I really do. You and I became friends first. We did. We really did. And it was really moving to talk to somebody who, you know, I'll share mine in a little bit, but it was great just to get to know you and understand where you've been, and we understand each other. So it was perfect. Thank you.
Thanks
all right. Next up, my other sister. Yay!
My name is Nakia Green, and I am president of Nakia J Consulting, a firm that focuses on diversity, equity, and inclusion, leadership development, and organizational development. I also am the founder of Culture Solutions and Culture Solutions in Action, which focuses on minimizing unemployment and underemployment amongst minority and disabled college graduates. Like Becky, I also have an invisible disease, and so it was a journey for me to accept and own my disability, and being a part of ADA 25 Advancing Leadership did that for me. It gave me the right and the courage to lead through my disability.
Very nice, very good. All right, my last but not least, my other sister. Yay! Good evening.
Hello there, Art.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. Hello, my name is Nicole Kelly, and you know, I joined Advancing Leadership from a space of, I personally have a physical disability, so I was born with only one hand. So my disability has never been anything that I've been able to hide. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's usually the first thing that people see about me. And I have had no choice my entire life but to approach life in a way where I'm constantly encountering people with my disability first. So I've been in Chicago now for 5 years and was really looking to connect with community here in Chicago who was also passionate about speaking up for disability rights and learning their story and sharing their story. And I had a mentor connect me to this amazing program, and he just said, you have to do it. You have to do it, because if you're looking to find community, and if you're looking specifically to find disability community, this is the space where you will find that.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you actually have a little claim to fame as well too. My audience would love to know that backstory to your claim to fame.
Well, I guess, so what you're probably referring to is, you said you had a pageant queen on last night. And I, myself, that is a part of my story as well. In 2013, I was Miss Iowa, so that's my hometown. That's where I originally was. And that means that I went and competed at Miss America and did so as one of very few women who have had a disability to do that.
Wow, what a great accomplishment. Let's give her a big round of applause for that. And look, each one of you ladies are just so beautiful in your own right. And you know, I think the biggest conversation that we need to have, of course, we're looking for people to join this wonderful organization. You know, I suffer from a physical and mental disability. And I really didn't understand where my place in all this was. I didn't understand, you know, when I looked at people who were born with their disabilities, my heart went out. Then when I started talking to people who had acquired disabilities, which I didn't know anything about that, and there are so many people walking around with acquired disabilities, that all of this was really overwhelming to me. And I said, oh my God, how do I continue to move forward after hearing all of these great stories? And something said to me, be the messenger, be the voice, encourage people to embrace their disabilities, help those with disabilities. And so that's my new path in life, and it really is. And I'm honored and humbled just to be with such a prestigious group of people, not only you three, but our entire class. I felt like the peon in there. I really did. I was like, yeah, I do a radio show, whatever. Whatever. You the vice president or what? You know, you the lawyer of who? You know, but I really did. But then God revealed to me that it really was for me to be there, and I'm honored to be a part of this. And so here's my contribution to the organization by getting the word out and letting people know it's okay, it's good, and to embrace your disability. When we come back from break, we're going to continue our conversation. Of course, we're looking for 2020 fellows. We're going to explain the entire program to you guys. You might know someone who might qualify. You might be someone who qualifies. And we'll actually share a little more things, because a lot of people don't realize if you have diabetes, cancer, heart problems, if you have limitations with mobility, any of those particular issues, you do qualify. And a lot of people go, well, I don't want to tell people I have that. And then a lot of you all have been discriminated against in the workplace. And we'll talk about that as well, too. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People, where I'm saving lives. That's what I'm going to do. We'll be back. Right now, I have in studio 3 of my sisters. And when I say sisters, these amazing ladies belong to the 2019 Advancing Leadership Institute. I guess we would be an institute. We are, yes, absolutely, if not added to the dossier. But that's what we are. We're a program that is really designed to energize, inspire leaders with disabilities, whether it's visible, invisible, or an acquired disability, and we're trying to make a change for those who need the help in this world. And I'm so honored to have these wonderful ladies here with me this evening. And Becky, I'm going to start with you first. If you could kind of lay out what the program is all about and help us remember, because you were really great in class doing all of this. And so I think you can handle that on the show. So go right ahead.
Thanks, sure. So the ADA 25 Advancing Leadership is a really comprehensive leadership program for people who identify as having a disability and who want to expand their personal and business and civic engagement throughout the Chicagoland community. So it all kicks off with a 2-part retreat once you've been accepted as a leadership in the fellowship. And for me, I really enjoy that retreat because it's a couple days long, which seems like a long time, but it goes by in a blink of an eye. I'm sure you can attest.
Yes.
And in that retreat, I learned more than I could ever fathom about disability and being new to that community. So we learned about accommodations and etiquette and learning language to support and elevate people with disabilities. So that was a really great retreat. We got to know each other, and we all felt like family leaving the room. Plenty of people were crying.
Yes.
It was a very emotional but wonderful experience and really hard to describe.
Nicole, do you want to mention your experience as well too with everything?
Yeah, you know, I think I left that first part of the retreat astounded by what I'm going to call access to communication. The first question that was asked every single day was, does everybody have access to communication? And communication is so key. So, you know, were there interpreters in the room for people who needed them? Were there e-readers for people who needed them? Was there captioning for people who needed them? What did each person need in order to fully participate in what was happening? And I have never been in a space that is that fully inclusive, and it was amazing to be around, and it, I think now should be the standard. That's what
I do
everybody
too.
should
I
be
do
doing.
too.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, I think that should be the standard for everyone because it really does mean inclusion.
Yes.
It really does. Nakia, what's your thought on it?
It was such a powerful experience, and for me, we did a lot of work on our leader as self, right? Discovering who we are, our leadership styles and I's and D's, and one of the most powerful moments was really understanding the history and legacy of ADA, right? And understanding the disability movement and its connection to the civil rights movement. And for me, it was a complete aha moment because I have always experienced and seen disability as very white, right? But to have an aha moment and connect it back to the civil rights movement and see the faces of the people who fought for us to have the rights that we have, right? So that there are laws and policies in place to protect us and to ensure that we have what we need and are treated fairly. To see that and to learn that was one of the most powerful moments within that first session.
And you know what I think about often is that, you know, our own race of people and the amount of disabilities that we see within our community, that, you know, people are just getting by when really they could get help, they could get assistance and things like that. And so that's what really touched me, just meeting so many different people from just different walks of life, backgrounds, stories, and then to look at myself and you know, again, I kept saying, am I worthy? Am I worthy? And so I think that's a lot of times what, you know, black males might go through, don't want to embrace what's wrong, what the problem is. And really, this was the first time I ever felt accepted by an entire room of people with no judgment. And so I really do think it makes a tremendous difference. And that's why I'm trying to encourage as many men that I know to step forward and become a leader through this, and it'll carry you throughout your life.
Absolutely, and disability in so many instances and spaces is seen with pity.
That's right.
Right. And the one thing that advancing leadership does so well is to paint the picture of people with disabilities as leaders, to help the world see it and to help move forward that conversation civically and in corporate spaces, because corporations and government alike need a lot of help around this topic, around how do we change the discourse in this topic, and advancing leadership is doing an amazing job in navigating those spaces.
And Rebecca, with you being in the corporate world, and this is a part of what you do every day, it's important that companies really do try to help their employees as much as possible, correct?
Yeah, it's really true, and what struck me, and the lady said it themselves, is that full participation, you know, making it a priority and making it a business priority throughout a large or small organization so that everyone can participate in the same ways that people without disabilities are able to participate. And it's not seen as a hassle, it's not seen as an expense, but as a business priority. And that's something that I took out of the program and I took back to work with me.
Very good, and I think that's something that we've all taken back to wherever we come from, that listen, this is not the way this should be done. It should be done this way, and you've got to if I'm what you considered a valued employee, then I need for you to value me and at least accommodate me. You know, we were talking earlier, I never knew anything about a respite room.
Sure.
Now everywhere I go, is there a respite room? And they were like, sir, you're at McDonald's. It was like, we have a playland, but we don't know if we have a respite room. We don't know if we have all that. And I was like, well, you better get me a respite room.
That's right.
You better get me one. I'm demanding that.
That's
I
right.
am. All right. So listen, when we come back from break, we're going to continue our conversation with my 2019 Fellows. I know, isn't that fabulous? Fellow. We sound like a singing group. We're here to tell you guys how important it is for you just to identify with who you are, what you have going on. There's help out here for you. Don't be afraid. And really, when you start identifying with what's going on with you, the doors will truly open for you. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, so we are back in studio, and I am honored to be sitting here with my fellows of the 2019 Advancing Leadership Institute. And as you guys all know, those nights that I'm not on the air and you guys, Chad had been gone a couple of days, well, that's because I've been busy. I have to learn to repurpose myself in this world, and this amazing program has allowed me to repurpose myself. It has taken a lot of stress and worry off of me about a lot of things that I was insecure about. and now I feel empowered again. And so here tonight with me are 3 of my sisters. There are, how many of us in the program this year? 20?
I think there were 20 of us.
Huh? 17.
17.
Okay, well, I added a couple extra people. You guys just never knew about them, but they were there. They were there. They were in my head. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you actually trained 5 people in me. So 17 of us this year. We're actually looking for 2020 fellows. And no, you do not have to have a job that pays $1 million. You do not have to be. You just have to be a leader. You've got to be someone who might be making a difference in the community, someone that might be making a difference in the workplace, healthcare, whatever the case may be. We want to help you take your leadership to the next level. And so my good friend Becky is here, or Rebecca, I'm sorry. You know I love Becky.
Am I in trouble?
No, darling. Well, I just, right, Rebecca, Nakia, and oh, of course, I love them so much. And of course, my Nicole is here as well, too. And ladies, I want to talk a little bit more about the board opportunities, because we really are presented with chances to sit on some really prestigious boards and committees and things like that. So please explain all of that to us.
Going through the program, we had an opportunity to take a few different routes and take advantage of being placed on the board in terms of government boards, and then being a part of Board Lead, which is a program that matches and trains members of the organization to be a part of boards here. And so I have had an opportunity to be matched to an organization, and I'm proud to say that as of Thursday, today is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday, I will be joining Ada S. McKinley.
Yay!
joining the board.
Fabulous! Nice!
So really
Yay.
what it does is it puts us in places and spaces to have opportunities that we never would have been able to have.
That's right.
To be around people and have access to spaces that we never would have had. I had an opportunity to host a table at an On the Table event where we were writing a letter to the mayor. That was a huge item at the time. We had a new mayor. She was just a few days in, literally. But being at the table with the chief diversity officer from the city of Chicago, people who are leaders in the city and in their own organizations, I never would have had that opportunity.
That's right. Yeah.
I've not been able to take advantage of all of the opportunities and events and programming that ADA Advancing Leadership has.
Very good. I love it. I love it. Nicole, I want to talk to you a little bit because you are a social media influencer. You really are a star, and you really are. I mean, you're just strikingly beautiful. And I've said you and I are going to do a TV show together, all of that. But
I'm saying it, Art.
it's going to happen. Trust and believe. But I want to talk a little bit about how, like even the iPhone and emojis now are embracing those with disabilities. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
So, although I hate the term social media influencer.
That's what you are.
Because, I got myself a master's degree, but, I'll take it for what it's worth, because there have been years and years and years and years and years of oppression on people with disabilities, and we have not been seen in public spaces. End of statement. There have been laws even in Chicago. It was called the Ugly Law back in the 50s, and if you looked a certain way, you couldn't pass a certain street in Chicago. That's real. Look it up.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
This is a real thing. People who have had disabilities have been oppressed in ways where we are not allowed to be seen, and that extends into the public space that is TV shows and movies, and you name it, that's every fiber of our being. I didn't see anyone on TV that had one hand until I was 10 years old. I remember that day so vividly because, holy crap, there actually is somebody like me in the little box that I watch every night. I watch it every single night. I watched it thousands of times, thousands of hours, but here for the first time at the age of 10 am I seeing this. So the long of the short that I'm trying to get at with you now is if there's a space that we can start to control, and that would be social media, and that's a space that you can be presenting your own content, you can be sharing your own views and telling your own story, well then you better take advantage of that. And so that's what I've been doing, and there are people who have been waiting for it. I mean, 1 in 5 people live with disabilities, we've been waiting to be seen. There are people waiting for it, and waiting to connect, and waiting to see themselves. You know, and yeah, so it's a wonderful space, and there's really exciting, cool things that are starting to happen, and the mainstream is really starting to catch on now. Clothing companies are starting to catch on to adaptive things, and you know, we could go on and on about various things, but you mentioned the emojis. Yeah, they're getting ready to release a line they're adding a whole bunch of emojis, and part of them are different disability emojis, and that is huge.
It is. It really is. It really, really is. What are some of the emojis? Do we know what they are? I know there's a hearing impaired emoji.
There's somebody with a prosthetic that I'm particularly keen to, because of course that's me. That's my person. I think they have a sightseeing eye dog. There's all of these wonderful different figures that, yet again, the more mainstream we can make this conversation, the more it can just be inherently a part of what we are seeing and doing every day. That's going to quote unquote normalize disability, and that's what we need to be doing.
I love it. I love it. Ladies, how do we talk to people with, you know, non-visible disabilities? How do we, you know, people, I'm telling you, people look at me, ain't nothing wrong with you. You know, what's wrong with you, boy? What, you know, and really, once you do know what's the problem and you're trying to actively get treated and move forward and live a normal life, how do we talk to those that may not want to identify, may not, you know, want to admit that, you know, they do have a disability?
For me, it was a change. I had to deliberately educate myself and act a different way. And having an invisible or non-apparent disability myself, I get that comment all the time. Well, you're a strong leader. I never knew, and that's the whole point. You know, we're supposed to treat each other as equal, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and that it's not very real. So that's why I decided that it was really important for me to personally claim my disability, so that I could use it for the betterment, and hopefully to try to get people to see something that they can't see with their own eyes.
Very good. Now, Nakia, you and I both know, in the community that we come from, you know, people make jokes and run around and want to say different things, but you know, we see it, we visualize it. The one reason that I wanted to move forward in this is to really help those that we know. How do we convince people that look like us? Embrace, it's okay.
Share our stories, right, and use the platforms that we have. It took a very long time, years, for me to even accept that I had an illness, and come to terms with what my life was going to be. And I was carrying that not only for myself, but I was carrying that for my family and their fear of what was going to be. But we have a responsibility to those who suffer in silence to speak. And when we speak, it gives people the license to speak also. It gives them the example that we need to see or that we need to hear to provide that courage. And then likewise, we have to hold people accountable to ensuring that those spaces are safe for people to do so. And that could be our own family members.
That is true.
That could be our peers. That could be the spaces that we work in. And people who have power, we have to call a thing, right?
Oh, come on now.
Call
you
a thing
took the
a
words
thing.
right out of my mouth. Call a thing a
and
thing.
be extremely transparent, and speak true to power on when spaces and people are not being fair, when accessibility isn't accessible, and who it's accessible to and who it's not accessible to, and then share all of the knowledge that we have with our community.
Very good. I agree with you 100%. The one thing that I've learned through this entire journey because I had not decided, you know, my next steps other than I knew I wanted to help get the word out about this amazing organization and draw other people in. But I also want to work on the transportation aspect for the disabled. The transportation aspect for the disabled in this city is a hot mess. And so I really would love to do what I can to try to improve that. And you know, people are already trying to get to doctor's appointments, and people are already going through issues. And so anything that can help to alleviate so much of that pressure and pain off of people. I met a lady the other day, missed her ride and had to wait 2 hours for another ride. And you know, I know, ma'am, I'm finna put you in a cab and I'm gonna send you home. You know what I'm saying? Because I just can't believe that people go through, and I had to learn this by being a part of it myself. And so, you know, that's what makes it all just so interesting, and call a thing a thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. Anything else you want to add to this as well? No? Be quiet all of a sudden.
I'm just thinking, I mean, I think the other really powerful part of this program is the fact that, you know, I feel like we talk a lot about visible versus invisible disability, but to be truly in the space together and be able to share and talk about our stories back and forth and what those are, it just is that much more understanding. Because yet again, you know, disabilities, we're facing barriers, right? And my barrier looks different than somebody who's encountering an invisible disability barrier, but that doesn't make it any less of a barrier. So let's talk about what that means and how to actually you know, tear down those barriers and create those spaces that are safe.
Very good. Want to add something to that?
Yeah, I would just add, this program gave me the unique opportunity to hear about disability from all walks of life. You know, disability cuts through every race, every religion, every demographic, every life experience. And to see the world through other people's eyes was so powerful. And it just helped me then consider more than just what I've gone through when I talk about disability. And this program is a unique way to get that experience.
It really, really is. All right, so when we come back from break, you guys know what the rules are. Get your pad of paper, get a pen, get whatever you need. We're looking for 2020 fellows. When I tell you guys it's well worth the program, you definitely want to apply. Or if you know someone who should be a part of this great program, we can tell you how you can nominate yourself or someone else. Chat Daddy has no selection in this process, so don't send me anything. I'm just the messenger. I'm just a town crier, and I'm just out here to tell everybody it's a wonderful program, and start embracing who you are as a person and live free, live healthy, live loving, and do the right thing. That's all I ask. You're listening to Real Talk, Real People. We'll be back in just a moment. So right now I'm in studio with a few of my fellows of the 2019 Advancing Leaders Institute, a wonderful program that offers opportunities for energetic, aspiring leaders with disabilities, whether it's visible, invisible, or acquired. And then let me kind of tell people what that's about. So visible, you can actually see a person has something going on. Invisible, you may not know, and acquired means you could be diagnosed with cancer, any illness, and that makes you a disabled person. And a lot of people are not fully aware of that. And so we're looking for passionate people who are wanting to make a change and step up their leadership position. I am so glad that I did it. It just has made a tremendous difference in my life. And so, Nicole, it's your time again, my dear. Tell people how they can become a part of this amazing organization.
I would just love to, Art. Yeah, so I think what's most important, first and foremost, of course, is that you identify as somebody living with a disability. And do you want to get proud? Do you want to get really, really proud about being somebody who lives with a disability? Then this is for you. That's the first hit point. You have to live in one of the 7 counties here in Chicago. So are you in the Chicagoland region? Great, that's hit number 2 for you. And then based on what I have in front of me here, it says that you have in September, if you apply, by September 9th, you are guaranteed actually an interview with the amazing, powerful team who like
Yeah.
runs this
It's a
organization,
good
and
team.
you wanna
It's a good team.
get in the room with it.
Now look, they
You
were
wanna
like
get in
Shark
the
Tank
room.
when I interviewed with them.
It's real.
They were stone faced and everything. I was so scared. I was scared. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
they are a great team. They
That-
really are. Mhm.
So guaranteed interview if you get it in before that September 9th date, but you have until October really to get your application in. So I would encourage you so much to go. It's ada25chicago.org/apply. All of the information you need will be there. You can follow all of those links, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You'll have to, of course, take the time to actually do it, but I cannot, encourage you enough if you're looking for community and you're looking for disability community, this is the place for you to come try out.
Very good. Again, that's ADA25 Chicago. That's ADA25chicago.org/apply. Each person will need 2 people in your network to submit nominations on your behalf. That's easy, simple. I was so glad for the 2 people who nominated me. Finish your application by submitting your resume in 3 short essays. The deadline is September 9th. You're guaranteed an interview. The final deadline is October 9th, 2019. I'm telling you guys to apply. It will really make a difference in your life. I'm looking forward to meeting all of the potential 2020 fellows at our, graduation reception, passing the torch event, which is, look, these people do good events, you guys, too. I mean, good events with meatballs and all, right? You have to sell people on that, right? They be like, what they serve? The food was off the chain, you all.
Yeah.
And so, no, but it's really a program like no other. I'm just honored to have, been a part of this. I'm just, really, it feels like I graduated from somebody other than Lottie Dottie. I graduated with magna cum laude this time. So I'm excited, and it's just been beautiful. Let's give that information again.
Yeah, so you have until September 9th to apply when you are guaranteed to get in the room with this amazing team that is running this amazing program. But October 9th is that final deadline. Just reminder, are you a person who identifies with a disability, and are you wanting to get really proud of that? Then this is for you. Gotta be from the Chicagoland area, one of those 7 counties, but get it in, adachicago.org.
Yep, and just like myself, you brothers and sisters from the hood out there, this is an opportunity and a chance. You want to be a leader, you want to make a difference in a community, whether you're a brown or a black brother and sister. This is a way to step up and really help a different demographic that we normally would help in our community. A lot of times we just kind of, no. Let's help people. In order to build a better community, we've got to help each other and embrace each other and accept each other. And so that's how it all works. In closing, what would you like to say?
Yet again, I think if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't know, am I a leader or am I not a leader? I think the fact that you're just having those thoughts of potentially wanting to maybe join us, that's it. That's the itch that you're looking to scratch. And again, just take the chance to apply, take the chance to come join us. We, as you were saying before, just being in a space with so many amazing people and just getting to know them has really been something I would wish for all people.
Yep, absolutely. Your closing thought, my friend?
ADA25 Advancing Leadership has significantly changed my trajectory as an entrepreneur, as a consultant, as a nonprofit leader. It has given me access. It has put me in spaces and in rooms that I normally would not have been able to get into. And it has connected me with myself. So if you are just have an inkling that you think you may want to be a part of this, or you know someone who should be a part of this, please, please, please share this information and encourage and share and encourage.
Very good. Thank you so very much. And last but not least, my good friend.
I think the ADA Advancing Leadership Program has connected me with a network of people who are like-minded, who are supportive, my ride or die, my friends, my family, and it allowed me to make an immediate impact on my sphere of influence, and it also made that sphere massive.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're looking to influence, if you're looking to join a community, getting all verklempt.
That's all right. We like the clamp around here, right? Choked up too. We like all of that, yes.
join the community, join this program, meet the leadership. It's a really wonderful opportunity.
Very good. Well, thank you so very much. Let me remind everyone again, in order to apply, it's ada25chicago.org/apply. It's an online application. You'll need 2 people in your network to submit a nomination on your behalf. Finish your application with your resume and 3 short essays. Apply by September 9th, 2019. You'll be guaranteed an interview. Final deadline is October 9th, 2019. And let me just say this to you guys. My resume has increased since I just joined this program. My resume looks so much better now. Radio show host is minor compared to the rest of the things that have been added. And, I'm really grateful for that.
Awesome.
I really am. Ladies, I love and adore each one of you, my sisters.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
So much for having
To all
us.
of our other fellows. Hey,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
Hey, y'all. It's time for another retreat. Time for another party. And we have a good time when we hang out, don't we?
do.
Meatballs.
We really do. We have a good, and meatballs, and every now and then a little cocktail in there too. You know what I'm saying? That's how that all works. Every now and then. Yeah. All right, so don't forget, ada25chicago.org/apply. Get on it September 9th, 2019. Final deadline is October 9th, 2019. And I look forward to meeting the new people when they come through. I look forward to it.
Absolutely.